Woman, won't you find your voice? Oh, woman, won't you find your soul? Woman, won't you find your voice? Oh, woman, won't you find your soul?
I think primarily that every woman, regardless of her situation, has access to her rights and her dignity and a set of choices to realize her potential at the end of the day. I think, and taking into account the specificity of the African context and the realities that women face. I think, like everybody else, I didn't have a name for it, but I think very young I noticed, I grew up in a household where I was socialized according to Muslim laws and rights, and I saw a lot of inconsistencies in terms of what I thought was just, and I kept on asking questions as to why are women subjected to some of these injustices. And it was only when I went to university when I started finding a language and a name for what I was, a feminist. And I think also my mother was feminist without ever, like even till today, she doesn't call herself a feminist. So, you know, she did a lot of things that was not what other people would say she should do. She was never afraid to step outside of the boxes that people created for her. So in many ways, she created the space for me to also be that rebel and to step outside of that box as well. I can't call myself a young feminist anymore, even though I came into feminism as a young feminist. I started organizing in the circle with other young feminist activists trying to get African voices into different spaces. But I think primarily by giving us a language for understanding the reality that women are experiencing on the African continent, I think that is a major contribution by African feminists, by giving us, I think, a range of different gains. I think we have so many progressive laws in the different countries. Yes, we have gone backwards in terms of some of them, but I think African feminists have really paved the way, have shown us that, you know, this thing called feminism is not a Western import. It's something that is right here, that hierarchies based on gender existed for a long time. I think it was exacerbated with colonialism indeed, but I think it always existed. And also I think African feminists gave us a history of showing how women can resist and subvert power. And I think that's very powerful, especially when we get tired and fatigued by the many faces of patriarchy, if we want to call it so, because it is tiring when on a daily basis, when you have to encounter, I think, the hatred of women. I think it's as simple as that. Women are hated when you encounter it in every single sphere. And it's subtle, it's overt, it's in so many forms. So I think the fact that there were women before us that have pushed against it, that have challenged it, that have broken it down, have disturbed it, I think for me gives me the power, the strength, and sometimes the courage to stand up and to do what it is that I can do. You know, I think as I get older, I feel like we even need to get more radical because I feel like there is an attempt to silence the experience of women and the experience of women within a patriarchal context. So I feel the need to be more radical in naming, more radical in creating profile and visibility, and more radical in building solidarity networks. I've been lucky that I've always had a lot of African feminist sisters that have held my hand and taken me by the hand and said, okay, and taken me into the different spaces. A lot of those feminists are in this space as well. So BC, Adelaide, Miami, Eva Joyce Wynn, Sylvia Tamale, whose work I was always inspired by before I actually met her, Aisha Imam, Amina Mama, and even my younger sisters, Mary Wandia, Ioma Ubibi, all of the sisters, I think, I want to send out a shout out to them, to just keep on being who they are. And that, we're there for each other.
And oh, woman, find your soul. And don't let them tell you that this isn't yours. 'Cause you are yours, your voice, your power, your soul. Baby, don't let them tell you that this isn't yours. 'Cause you are yours, your voice, your power, your soul. Your voice, your power, your soul. Your soul, your voice, your power, your soul. Oh, oh, woman, won't you find your voice? Said woman, won't you find your soul? 'Cause this is yours, oh baby, you are yours. Your voice, your power, your soul. Your voice, your power, your soul.